Hi everyone, this is Heather and I'm back with another video. This one is pretty special, maybe you can tell from the title, but this is my 100th YouTube video, which I think is quite incredible that I made it this far, that I'm still making videos. I don't think I'll ever get tired of making videos, so that's kind of nice for me and for you, I guess, if you enjoy watching them. So I just wanted to give a bit of a history of my channel as well as just a few announcements that I have, and then I'm going to jump into an art journal flip. I haven't done one of these for quite a while, and I wanted to share that with you because I know I have a lot of viewers who are interested in the mixed media aspect of my channel. If you've been watching for a while, you know I kind of do some of everything crafty. So into the history, I guess. I started my channel on September 1st, 2009, and I posted my first video that same day. At that time, I didn't really think I would become a regular video creator. I had actually started a blog the year before that, and I was celebrating my 1-year blogiversary, so I posted a video of my scrap room tour as a celebration for that. And I couldn't figure out a way to put the video on my blog without having it uploaded to YouTube first, so that's what I did. And now, 6.5 years later, here I am with my 100th video. In that 6.5 years, I've changed a lot. I've had so many different life experiences. Firstly, I've lived in 4 different homes. The first being my family's home in our original small town where I grew up. Then we moved to our new home on our acreage with my family again. Then I moved to residence for university, and after 1 year in res, I moved to my current place. It's so lovely. In a basement suite where I now live with my husband, and we are planning to live here for the foreseeable future. Also, in the last 6.5 years, I've finished high school, I finished university, I started my relationship with my now husband. That was in high school I started. And we got engaged and we are now married. So there has been a lot of personal changes. But on to the more business aspect side of things. I am becoming more serious with YouTube. As you may notice, I have been uploading 2 videos per week, every Tuesday and every Friday, and I've been doing that since the beginning of February, and it's been going really well. I love creating these videos for you, and I love the feedback, and I just love making them. So that's been great. I do plan to continue 2 videos per week as far as I know, but I have a tangent on that as well, which I'll talk about later. I did my first video series recently, last fall. It was called Just Print It, and that can be found in a playlist on my channel, which I'll link below if you're interested. I also did December Daily for the 4th year, but this year I very well documented it on my videos, so I posted a video update every week for that, which was really fun. My goal is to grow my following here on YouTube as well as on my other social media accounts, and I really want to spread inspiration to as many people as I can reach, and I just really want to have fun with it. So thank you for joining me on my journey, and again, if you haven't subscribed, I'd love to have you on my journey with me. The tangent I mentioned before, I may not be keeping up with 2 videos a week coming soon. I will maybe move down to just 1 per week because I am planning to start a class. I need to detail that further. I really don't have a solid plan right now, so I can't share too much, but I will be releasing my first class in the coming months. I'm really excited about it. I have so many ideas and I need to narrow them and refine them. But if you're interested in that, please subscribe for updates and details on that, as well as check out my blog. I'm also going to start designing some digital products that can be used digitally or in hybrid albums. I've been really enjoying using printables, as that's why I chose to do the Just Print It series, and I enjoy designing them as well, of course, and I just really hope that I can inspire you to use more printables as well, or use them digitally if that's what you like to do. So, in terms of my class, I really wanted to get your feedback on that. So I would like to ask everyone watching, what is the best class, online or in person, that you've ever taken in terms of crafting or scrapbooking or art? And why did you love that class so much? I would also love to know the price point and what you think is a good deal for that. Any other details you want to share, I would love to know. This is just for my own personal interest, as well as it may influence my class planning, who knows. When my class is released, I will be doing a giveaway, so you can look forward to that. Again, please subscribe for updates on my giveaways. I am so excited to say that I am almost at 2,000 subscribers here on YouTube, and I appreciate all of you. Some of you have been with me for 6.5 years since the beginning. Some of you are new this week or even today, and I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much for your support, and I love seeing your comments. I love communicating with you in the comment section, so please ask away. Any questions you may have, I'd love to hear them. I'm going to do a bit of a quick art journal flip now because this went on for a while, so I hope you stay tuned for that, and I will be back soon with another video. Thank you so much for watching. Alright, so here I am with the art journal portion of this video. I may have shared some of this previously, but I think I'll just kind of skim through this whole book, and I hope you like what you see. So this is the first page here. I've done a lot of layering here. I won't go too much into the detail of the supplies that I use because I have a few process videos for these pages, and I will just link you to the playlist in the description below so you can check that out. So there is that page. Here is a 2-page spread that I created. This flower has some ultra thick embossing enamel on it. I used a black and white photo in the background and did a lot of grungy layering on this. This was a pretty quick page, and it just says, "Sometimes life will rain on your parade." And I used the Tim Holtz Rain Man stamp covered in some glossy accents. And that page got a little bit muddy, but I kind of like the look because it is talking about rain. This one has some really neat splat type quality to it. Splat textures and paints, I guess. And there's crackle paint there. Hopefully this is focusing so you can see some of the details. It's hard to show this type of work in a video because it is so much more interesting to see it in real life. This page was something really different. I just used acrylic paint and layered the bright colors together without blending them and getting it too muddy. I think it's a different look for me for sure. This is not something I'd normally do. And it says, "Life is about creating yourself." This page uses some of the wax technique that I showed in a recent video, and this is a better example of it because you can see here how it completely resisted the watercolor paint. But I also had watercolor paint underneath the wax in some areas, so that created an interesting look too. Here you can see some more details. I really like this. And these words were just printed on paper, and I put a coat of wax on top of those as well, so you can see how shiny they are. This page is inspired by a work of art by Eric Olson, an artist, and the painting is called India, and it is of an elephant, and I just sort of did my own mini pop art version of that, and there's just different icons and symbols and things written on the elephant. Here's a 2-page spread. I believe there is a process video on this. I just used some molding paste, as you can see. Here's a nice sunset page, and I used some pastels and watercolors and just created some neat textures in there using some lace paper tape and some modeling paste, I believe. Here's one with a Tim Holtz key charm and some nice paint splattering here as well, some mesh texture and some layering. This one, I know for sure there's a process on this one, so I won't go into too much detail of that, but there's a whole pile of string on there that gives it quite the dimensional look. Here is a quick and simple one using some Bible verses and a tag and a button. This one is incomplete. Well, it looks incomplete. I don't know if I'll ever do anything to this. My husband and I just were doodling on there. Here is a layered one with some images in the background and some doodles and some journaling on there. And you can see it's a bit shiny. There's some Mod Podge layered with that. Here's a neat texture one. I think I used some embossing enamel for this, and I think I used bubble wrap to stamp that black paint on there. And this just has some journaling of where I hope to travel someday and some interesting art history notes in the background. I like to use my school notes as layers. This page, I'm not sure if it's complete. I could tuck something behind this frame if I wanted, but there's glitter and burlap and lots of neat textures on that one. This one, I love the bright quality to it with the yellow and the blue, and there's some molding paste and some crackle paint on this. There's really nice texture in there and some stitching, and I just cut up a pocket page card for this sentiment. This one has wood grain. I use my wood grain stencil with some paste as well as some mists, and there's some Archie comic in the background. And this piece of chipboard I altered using distress inks and crackle paints and some chain glued on there. I used my brick stencil as well with some ultra thick embossing enamel in white. That's a fun one. Here is one with some wings, wing chipboards, and just lots of different paint layers. That one was fun to make. This one with some really dimensional things. You can see this button is something off of like a pair of jeans, and it's quite dimensional, so that explains why my art journal is as thick as it is. And this is a polymer clay piece that I stamped into and then baked and distressed. And there's some seam binding glued and layered on there, some dirty water splats, just some fun stuff. These are cards, like divider type things that I attached using eyelets and some string, so that's quite cool. And there's a lot of glitter on this page, as you can see. Here is this one. There might be a process video on this, I'm not quite sure, but it says, if you are always trying to be normal, you will never know how amazing you can be. And then I think it says, what is normal over here. And that's a neat one with some texture paste here, or some modeling paste, I mean. This camera piece was cut out of a magazine. And this is a different kind of one because I didn't paint all the way to the edges like I normally do. Another interesting layered one with some sprayed splatters. I probably used a straw and blew into that. Some stamping, some notes in the background, just some different washi tapes. This, I think it's called the Vitruvian Man, was cut from a magazine. And that one's pretty flat. This cross is cut from grunge board, and I just added some crackle paint in clear on top of black acrylic paint, and added some metallic paint into the crackles there. It turned out really neat. And there's a lot of layering and crackle on this one, as you can see. Almost at the end here. This one, I had cut some letters out on a Cricut, and this, I used the negative piece of paper to use as a stencil on this, and it says New York and March, different things in there. Really like that. And this, so I used embossing powder on those letters and then added a whole bunch of paint layers on top. And the quote says, "If you've done the very best you can, worrying won't make it any better." And that's a quote by Walt Disney. That's something I still need to take into consideration every day. This page looks a little plain at first, but it has a lot of neat texture that I really love. This one I posted on my Instagram a while ago, and this is a Taylor Swift quote. And I had some journaling in here that I painted over, and I sort of like to hide my feelings in these pages, so I wrote "cover it up" on top of that. Even though I am hiding my feelings, it is still therapeutic to get those feelings written on paper, even if I or no one else ever looks at them again. And this is actually my first vertical page in this book. It goes like this. At least that's how the quote is. And it says, "Sometimes following your heart means losing your mind." And I think that's true for a lot of artists or creative people. Maybe people in general, actually. There's a lot of nice, pretty colors on there. And the very last page, I drew these trees. They came out a lot more realistic than I expected. I was just kind of playing around with the paint. I did that with acrylic paint, and then I put clear crackle on top. This is, it's the crackle version of the glossy accents. I don't know quite what it's called, but it's in a little squeeze bottle. So that looks quite cool, I think. And then the quote says, "Take time to do what makes your soul happy." So that is this book full. I've shared parts of this before, but I believe this is probably as completed as it's ever gonna get. So thank you so much for watching, and thank you for celebrating my 100th video with me. I really appreciate your support. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I'd love to see you in my follower gang community. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great week. Check me out as well on Instagram. I am StayBeautiful84 over there, as well as on Pinterest. So thank you again. Have a great one.